Hi friends, welcome back to Sheena's Homestead. Today is going to be a fun episode. I am sharing with you my hopes and dreams for my garden in 2024. We're doing a little bit of a remodel and I'm super excited. This past week was my 40th birthday, so it was a big one. Rob asked what I wanted and the answer was more gardening beds. So we bought a bunch of gardening beds. The last video you saw is from VEGO Gardens, and we're doing some metal raised beds. You can see some of them here in the back. So I ended up purchasing 6 total, and I'm gonna have 2 trellises as well. There was a monster sale, so we got a really good deal, and I'm just really excited to start this year's gardening project. It was really easy to put together. The kids helped me, and even my 14 and 12-year-old put together 2 beds on their own. So it is easy peasy, and you can do it too. So to begin, first things first, we are going to stain this existing deck. I have had it for, I believe, 8 years. There were a couple years that I didn't garden anything in it, but the last 4 years I have been a solid gardener. So we are looking at restaining all of that, and you can see that this garden bed is almost completely planted out. I just have a little section right here that is left, but I will start from the right and move all the way over. We have onions in this corner, and you know that I planted 700 onions this year, so that is really exciting. And we have some onions down here in this section as well. You can see my volunteer planted lettuce. So a volunteer plant is something that you did not put the seeds in this year, but it came up on its own. And you can see here there's quite a bit of lettuce. I did plant lettuce last year, and it reseeded itself. So I'm gonna see a spare carrot in there too, right there. And then in this corner, we have quite a lot of garlic, and you can see it's doing well. Some of it is elephant garlic, so they will be enormous, and they are back here in the corners. And then I have other varieties as well. I have a German type, and then we have some broccoli that lasted through the winter. Quite amazing. So I've just been letting that grow. And here we have Swiss chard that came back. We had planted this last year. It was a prolific provider, and it is back with a vengeance this year. It's only April and we've got quite a few plants. And then more garlic here. And in between I planted onions. So any place that I had a little extra space, or maybe a garlic clove that didn't end up sprouting, I put an onion bulb in its place. And here is our spinach patch. It's doing really well. We started all of this spinach by winter sowing. There's a little weed there. We planted all of this spinach by winter sowing. It did super well, and I was able to transplant it out pretty early in April. And over here we have some broccoli that we used the same method for. Let me tell you, it was super nice to be able to get these crops in the ground so early. Broccoli is something that takes a long time to grow, and for spinach, we want to get it in the ground before it gets too hot outside, because if it does get too hot, it'll bolt and go to seed, and that will be it for our spinach. So it's nice to use the ground that we have to get a couple extra harvests in. Here we have some kale that came up from last year. We're still letting that go. And in this bed behind us, we have more garlic. So now let's get to the extra part of the garden, my raised beds. So I have 2 here, 2 there, and 2 are still on the deck. So we're having a landscaper come out today. He's going to help us level the ground right here. We're going to move these fertilizer bins. So we're going to level the ground. We're going to put some hardware cloth down so that the moles can't come up through the garden beds. What I have learned is that we have quite a few moles. You can see the little holes all around. They've really created some trouble for us over the winter. So we're going to put hardware cloth down so that they can't come up through it. And then I think we're going to surround all of these beds with wood chips. So you tell me what you think, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to line the 6 beds straight across the back. And I have 2 arched trellises that I plan to put over 2 of the beds so that you can see the arches from the front, kind of like my my cattle fence arch that Rob built me last year between my tomato garden beds. Something we've been struggling with lately is temperatures ranging really high and really low. So last night we had a freeze warning. I'm really hoping that our fruit trees here in the back survived that, but we really won't know for another couple of weeks until we start seeing if the fruit is going to form or not. But so we went from a freeze warning last night, and Saturday is supposed to be 82 degrees here. So very, very large temperature swings. And so that's kind of been inhibiting us just a little bit. I think the plants are wondering what is going on, as are we. So as soon as those temperatures reach a more constant state, I will be planting out tomatoes, probably right here in this bed. I used this bed for tomatoes last year, but it was a brand new bed. So I think I'm gonna put them there one more time and use my trellis to kind of put those over the top. I would love to get dripping tomatoes again like last year. It was really fun. If you want to, you can go down in the comments and check out one of those videos to see my harvest from last year. And then just looking at the garden bed from this angle, we are going to add one more right here. We do have this tree that gives us some shade, as you're seeing here in the afternoon. We have been trimming it back little by little, just to have it grow in the opposite direction and give us a little more sunshine in this spot. But as you can see where we're putting the raised garden beds, it is full sunshine. And then this patch here was our elderberry patch, and we ended up taking that down and transplanting some of our elderberries to another location. So when the landscaper comes, he is going to mulch up this entire area and get it ready for me to be able to plant directly in the ground. So coming over to our orchard, this is a pretty sad sight to see. This is what the frost did the other night. So this is freeze rot, and likely we will not get any fruit from this tree. There's quite a few trees in our orchard that have the same thing. A lot of the cherries, a lot of the plums, and some of the apples as well. So that is caused from the late frost, and truly what happened is the warm weather pushed these trees into budding early. So they flowered, and then the frost is pretty normal for this time of year. So when the frost comes along, it kills all of the blooms that have already come out. So that's pretty disappointing. I'm hoping this pear tree survived. It does look like the buds are starting to swell at the base here. I'm trying to get a close-up for you. So that little piece will become the pear right here. It's pretty amazing. And this is a blueberry bush. You can see little blueberries are forming on the ends. This one is a different variety, also doing well. This is another example of frost rot. You can see there on the tips of these flowers. See, something like this looks a little more normal. This one came out just after the frost right here. So that one will probably survive, but only time will tell. So we'll keep an eye on that. Otherwise, the orchard looks like it's doing pretty well. It had a good overwintering. We had a very nice warm winter, so they did just fine with that. It's just been the spring that's been a little up and down, up and down. Everyone's really enjoying this beautiful day. Right, Zeus? Yeah. It's a nice day. So that's my episode for today, friends. I hope you enjoyed getting a little garden update and hearing what my hopes and plans are for this growing season. I'd love to hear down in the comments what your hopes and dreams are for your own garden. Are you starting anything new? Are you trying new things? I will say I am starting some different flowers this year. We are going to do dahlias and snapdragons. I've started them from seed, so I have big hopes and dreams that they will do wonderfully out in my little flower patch. I should add that I'm going to add to my flower patch as well. I thought it'd be nice if you got a little update on what is going on over here. We are working hard. So I'll put a link down below for those VEGO garden beds. They are not that expensive when you consider how long they're going to last you and how much growing space you're going to get out of them. They are a great investment. So I'm going to put that down below, and I hope you guys have a great week. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time on Sheena's Homestead. Bye, friends.